The Golden Gate Bridge, providing a welcoming backdrop for ESPN College Football, presented by Serve Pro. An absolutely gorgeous night in the Bay Area for the 128th big game. Stanford fans here on the farm, not so welcoming to the Cal Golden Bears, making their way down from Berkeley. Awfully cordial there between those two fans. Two of the bright young quarterbacks in this league set to face off tonight here on the farm. Hello, everybody. Alongside Max Brown, I'm Chris Cotter. They've been playing this game since 1892, one of the oldest and one of the best rivalries in the country.
And we're in an era in college football with so much change, and no two programs have had to deal with that more than Cal and Stanford. And it's left these two fan bases craving tradition, and there's nothing more traditional with a matchup with your rival in the 128th big game. Should be a good one.
Jared Chiava-Sangapolatelli is one of the top freshman quarterbacks in the country. He's new to this rivalry, but not new to getting it done on the field this season.
And this rivalry is not new to great quarterback play. Some of the best quarterbacks this game's ever seen. And JKS, Jared Chiava-Sangapolatelli, is extremely talented for a true freshman. Was only the second opening day starter for Cal as a true freshman. Last one was Jared Goff. Since then, he's rattled off 10 straight starts with over 200 passing yards. He has a rare combination of arm strength and accuracy. Chris, he's going to be looking to push the ball down the field today.
Both he and this redshirt freshman, Elijah Brown, for Stanford, are going to have an outstanding receiving corps, both teams to throw the football to. Two of the top wideouts, one on each team in this conference.
Two of the most productive guys in this conference. Jacob DeJesus for Cal, coming off a game in which he had 16 receptions, over 150 yards. Second in the ACC in reception. C.J. Williams on the other side, different kind of skill set, more of a possession receiver. Came to Stanford by way of Wisconsin and USC. He's fifth in the ACC in reception. So both these teams got to get these guys going.
For more on this great rivalry, let's send you down to the third member of our crew, Kendra Douglas, down on the field.
Well, guys, I caught up with players from both sides of the team, and they were telling me about the passion and the mission of going after that Stanford Axe, and a trophy that was designated as the annual award to the winner of this game, dating back since 1933. When I caught up with Cal's Aiden Kianana, he told me that he's never in his career played in a big rivalry game like this one. Stanford tight end Sam Roush told me that general manager Andrew Luck told him that he has receipts from this game, and he used that as a passion and a way to get these guys fired up. Guys, this is more than just bragging rights for these guys. It's about pride, it's about history, and it's about who takes home that Stanford Axe, guys.
Yeah, Kendra, that Stanford Axe has belonged to the Cal Golden Bears in the last 4 seasons. He's trying to become the first Cal coach ever to win it 5 straight years.
I think people forget, maybe not Cal fans, but they forget how long Justin Wilcox has been there. His first matchup in the big game was against David Shaw when he passed Pop Warner for the all-time wins mark as a Stanford head coach. Oh, how times have changed in those 9 seasons. And then Frank Wright on the other side in a totally different situation. Came in as the interim head coach, hired in March. Just a one and done. He's only got 2 more games as the Stanford head man, looking to go out on a high note.
You see Stanford's record at 3-7. They finished 3-9 in each of the last 4 years. So Frank Reich, and to your point, is 1 season here, trying to get them that 1 extra win to confirm that this Cardinal team is heading in the right direction. Stanford won the toss. They defer to the second half. So we'll get a chance to see that young man right there, Sangapolatelli, first off for the Golden Bears, as they're going bowling. This is a team that, this has become an annual thing, but kind of like Stanford, they're trying to push it and get better. Not just 6-6, not just go bowling, but add a couple of more wins and keep that win total going every year.
Yeah, under Justin Wilcox, Cal's been very steady, but the top end hasn't necessarily been there. Only their highest winning season was just 8 wins. You got a shot to beat that mark potentially if you finish the season strong. Obviously, a win versus Stanford would do that.
Karan Adams and Jacob DeJesus deep for the Bears. Emmett Kenny puts a toe into it, and the 128th big game is underway. DeJesus, very dangerous as a return man, trying to get outside, flag down as he's dropped it to 16. We'll hear from our referee tonight, Nate Black, early.
Holding, receiving team, number 10. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Jaron Kiava-Sangapolotele, the freshman out of Hawaii, initially went to Oregon, transferred out though before ever playing down at Oregon, and then came to Cal here as a true freshman.
In this matchup last year was Fernando Mendoza, the odds leader for Heisman Trophy winner this season. Led Cal, they were down 11 heading into the fourth quarter, led them on a big drive to win that game. This time it's the true freshman. Leads the ACC in attempts, which is the stat that sticks out to me. No training wheels with the true freshman. He's got the keys to the car.
Kendrick Raphael, who's the workhorse, the bell cow, a rarity in today's college football that you have a bell cow, a tailback with teams spreading it around a little bit, but he's that guy for them.
Yeah, Raphael, very much the featured back. You got Tron Grizel, Jordan King, and Jacob DeJesus. They're three receivers, very distinct skill sets. DeJesus is the speedy guy, King's more the possession guy, Grizel's the tall on the outside, and then Mason Minnie is the athletic tight end. Got two great tight ends in this matchup, Minnie for Cal and Roush for Stanford.
Keep an eye on 21 as well. DeJesus, we mentioned him in the open. They'll move him around all over the place now in motion out of the backfield. And we've got movement and flags down.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Nerves a factor as they are in every rivalry game. A couple of quick penalties against the Golden Bears have them moving back. Who should we keep an eye on for Stanford defensively?
Yeah, most noteworthy, Wilfredo Ibar, he's out in this game. Other guys are going to have to step up around him. Matt Rose is their leading tackler. Tafiti is very much their edge pass rusher. Clay Patterson's a disruptive defensive tackle. Colin Wright, he was out a few weeks ago. He's their best corner. And then Scotty Edwards, they move him all around the park. Second leading tackler on this team.
Sangapolotele to throw. Underneath has a receiver. That's DeJesus, slipped a tackle, but Matt Rose brought him down. It'll be third and about 7.
2 weeks ago versus Louisville, they featured DeJesus on 5 of the first 6 attempts. 16 catches 2 weeks ago. They're going to move him all over the field. I thought it was interesting. Justin Wilcox said he almost has a Christian McCaffrey flavor, not in terms of maybe talent level, but in terms of how they use him, moving him all over. Hard to double cover a guy like that when you're not sure where he's going to line up.
Stanford brings just 4. Sangapolotele has it knocked away on third down. Trying to get it to Jordan King, but Colin Wright was all over it. And Cal's going to be forced to punt deep in their own territory.
And a dangerous throw by JKS. Late over the middle. Colin Wright, been banged up this season. He's their best corner, getting a hand. Nice pass break up there. Taking advantage of that penalty on special teams. Getting Cal with the 3 and out, giving your offense some momentum.
Michael Kern to punt it away. It's a good high kick. Liam Thorpe's going to watch it go out of bounds. Right near midfield. They're going to mark it at the 48. Here comes Elijah Brown. You know a lot about this young man coming from your neck of the woods in Southern California, redshirt freshman.
Coming from one of the best high school programs in the country, modern day. Rich line of quarterbacks, Matt Liner, Bryce Young, Matt Barkley. Elijah Brown replaced Bryce Young in high school, very successful. Didn't start the year as Stanford starter. They went with Ben Gulbranson for much of the season. Elijah Brown led him to a win versus Florida State. He's the head signal caller now.
And he'll throw on first down. Pump fake. Now he's in all kinds of trouble. Tried to get it to his tight end, Sam Roush. And it goes incomplete. Sam Roush, one of the best tight ends in the country.
He's their best offensive player. They think he's next up in a long line of great tight ends. Micah Ford is their featured back. Farrell's the speedster receiver on the outside. Caden High coming off a season-high 10 receptions. And then C.J. Williams is very much their featured receiver.
More laundry on the field here early.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Redshirt junior out of Franklin, Tennessee. Fisher Anderson, the center.
This is very much a key for both teams in this game. Both teams are dealing with offensive line struggles. Musical chairs, different lineups throughout the season. Big key in this game, which offensive line group can settle in first.
So the Cardinal will move back 5 yards. Bring up second down and 15. Brown dumping it off to Roush. Brought down immediately. Outstanding tackle by Drew Polidor, the safety, and it'll be 3rd down.
Polidor led him in tackles last week, had 10. Having to fill in there, banged up at safety. You're seeing Cade Olave there. He's back off an injury. He's their middle linebacker. Zeke Massis tied for the nation's lead in interceptions at 5. Manitai is a very talented true freshman safety. Then up front, they got a special guy in Keanu Aina.
And they got to Elijah Brown, and you mentioned him, Keanu Aina. Got there first. And that man right there, Vic Soto's defense, he'll force a 3 and out.
Vic Soto loves himself some pass rushers. Stanford's behind the sticks. You get Keanu Aina, TJ Bush, 2 of the premier transfer portal gets for Cal this offseason. Man, if they hit on those guys, Bush from Liberty, Keanu Aina from Notre Dame.
Flintoft kick. Fair catch signaled by DeJesus, makes it at the 22. Both teams have had a possession offensively. Still zeros on the scoreboard on a perfect night here in the Bay. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Both Cal and Stanford still scoreless here early on the farm. These two teams both have famous general managers, and Kendra's standing by with one of them down on the field.
Yeah, Chris, thank you. I'm here with Cal's general manager, Ron Rivera. We were just chatting a little bit about how passionate this rivalry game is. Can you share with me a special moment for you?
Well, I was here for the 1982 big game with the 5 laterals and the trombone. That was about as special as it gets because it's one of those games that really did go down in history.
We were talking a little bit about a guy that you have, JKS. I mean, the way he's been performing as of late, what do you see in him and what do you like about what he's been doing for this program?
Well, you know, he's brought a lot of attention to us. He's helped raise our profile. Guys want to come here and be part of our football team.
Ron, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Kendra and Ron. And what was that? We just saw it. It works out really well for Cal. I don't even know what they were doing as far as that lineup. They had offensive linemen split out to the near side. It ended up being Karan Adams with a 14-yard run. That was a pop pass.
One thing that's a guarantee in a rivalry game, and when your play caller is Brian Harsin, famous for calling the Boise State Statue of Liberty in 2007, 2008 Fiesta Bowl. Right there, little jet sweep, funky formation. Cal's an offense that formation's a lot heading into the game. It's tough for Stanford to match up.
Sangapolatelli out to DeJesus. Picks up about 4 on first down. New era of college football with general managers. You have Andrew Luck for Stanford and Ron Rivera for Cal.
It's two GMs, even though they have the same title, vastly different responsibilities. Rivera's much more administrator. Luck's doing it all. He's recruiting as if he's a head coach. Fundraising, dealing with admissions, the whole deal.
Sangapolatelli avoids the rush. Slings it downfield. It's almost intercepted. Colin Wright, once again, with great coverage. That's the second time we've called his name tonight. Covering the receiver like a glove, and Sangapolatelli just tried to sidearm it in there. Getting pressure from Omar Staples.
JKS usually good outside the pocket right there. He's awfully lucky that wasn't intercepted. That's twice that Colin Wright has had an opportunity there. One of the leaders on this team, Stanford seniors. None of them have beat Cal as a player. Colin Wright's trying to change that today.
DeJesus in the backfield. Now Sangapolatelli will move him out on 3rd and 6. Stanford's going to bring 5. It's picked up. DeJesus inside of Stanford territory, first down. He had 23 targets in their last game, the win at Louisville.
It's just a mismatch from the start. You have no linebacker underneath, so he's one-on-one with Mitch Lieber. That's a tough matchup. You're 12 yards off. You're going to have that deep out all day long as JKS throws that on time. When it's 3rd down, they're looking to DeJesus' way.
He's already got 3 catches for 21 yards, and they'll try and get those mismatches all night long, moving them around. Again DeJesus. Got a blocker in front of him. And he used that Raphael block perfectly to pick up 7.
Impressive. They're moving them all over. Brian Harsin, that is, his offensive coordinator. Head coach at Auburn most recently. Before that, spent a lot of time at Boise State under Chris Peterson. That's where him and Justin Wilcox connected. Now calling plays for Justin Wilcox and getting DeJesus involved.
They got a big old 54 in motion. Raphael maybe picks up a yard before Matt Rose brings him down. Well, you and I have got our work cut out for us tonight. We got to keep our heads on a swivel when 54 goes in motion.
It's an athletic looking tackle. Fred Williams started for them a bunch at left tackle this season. They've been rotating a lot at the tackle spot. Fred's a reserve tackle today, but certainly very athletic as we saw there.
Now the tight end goes under center, pitches it to Sangapolatelli. He'll throw it back. He can throw it again, and he does. And he's got his man, Jordan King. What in the wide world of sports is going on out there? 17 yards.
The trust you have to have in your offense to execute this play. You're having a tight end take the snap for under center. Then he's pitching it back, making sure it's a lateral. Then you're able to run it. Nope, I'm going to throw it and throw an accurate pass there with the gloves on. Mason Minnie, the transfer from Idaho, doing it all.
What's the end game here, though? I mean, it's fun to watch here early, but you can't keep up this pace of trick plays, right? At some point in time, you got to go to bread and butter, and that's, in many cases, handing the ball off to this guy right here, although he hasn't had a lot of success.
I said it earlier, but when you get a rivalry game, the call sheet gets a lot longer in the trick play department, which is kind of the nature of these matchups. But to your point, we've seen 3 on this drive. How deep is the well there?
Tight end Mason Minnie was the one who threw that ball. It's his second pass this year. Both of them have gone for first downs. Now to Jesus again out of the backfield into the slot. Sangapolatelli looks that way and throws that way, gets blasted. Makes the catch. But boy, did he take a wallop from Colin Wright.
Colin Wright is all over this field, playing it inside in between the hashes, right there on the outside, and they're looking at DeJesus. When you take a big shot like that, always got to be wary of concussion protocol or anything like that. Seeing Wright trigger right away. Clean hit, violent game. DeJesus up right away. Have to keep an eye on that, whether or not DeJesus comes back in on this drive.
Cal's already converted 2 third downs on this drive. Facing 3rd and 5 here. Empty backfield for Sangapolatelli. Stanford showing pressure. They bring just 4. And they get him anyways. S.A. Dubre was the one who got in there along with Teba Tafiti. One thing Stanford has done this year is they've allowed teams to get into the red zone on a regular basis, but they've been very stingy in terms of allowing touchdowns, and this may be another case as Abram Murray comes in to attempt a 40-yard field goal.
Dubre, the 5th-year senior, more of a pass rush guy. He's lucky JKS didn't bring his eyes back from right to left. I thought he had a little 5-yard under route open right over the middle of the ball. Missed opportunity for Cal to convert on a 3rd down.
Murray is good. So the long distance kicker for Cal comes in and puts the Golden Bears up 3 early.
Primetime Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
Yeah, they call it the farm here at Stanford. An absolutely gorgeous place to watch a football game. Cardinal, though, trailing by 3 here early as DeJesus was banged up on that last drive. Let's go down to Kendra for a little bit more on DeJesus.
Yeah, guys, I watched him come off and talk with one of the trainers. His guys were checking up on him, kind of giving him a nods up that he's okay. He's sitting on the sideline right now, continuing to give his guys a heads up of, yeah, I'm okay, we're good to go. So it looks like right now all things are good for Jacob DeJesus, guys.
Amazing job of just hanging on to that ball after Colin Wright just laid into him.
Sure, JKS is going to the sideline saying, next time we get that, if a corner's triggering that hard, rip the hole shot, the seam route right behind him.
Caden High will watch this one bounce into the end zone. Time now for Food Line, food for thought. We talked about the receivers at the top. How about these 2 tight ends? Outstanding.
2 great tight ends that have a very bright future, awfully productive. Sam Roush leads the ACC in receptions for tight ends. He's an incredible blocker, too. They think he's next in the great line of Stanford tight ends. Then Mason Minnie, different path. Came from Idaho, transfer. I don't want to say more athletic because that undermines Roush's athleticism, but he is going to play more on the edge than Roush does. both these guys very much factors in their offense's attack.
Here you see Roush in motion to the top of your screen. Now double tights, triple tights that way. Gonna try and run it with Cole Tabb. He picks up a yard. Both of these teams have had a hard time just running the football off tackle in this game, as we've seen in the first couple of drives, having to mix it up a little bit just to find some space.
And style-wise, Stanford wants to have this game be a little bit grimier. Longer drives, longer possessions, condense the game. If it's a high-flying, big shots down the field, that doesn't play into the game plan for Stanford.
Stanford fans happy to see 20 in red. Micah Ford missed some time this year. He's been back, second game back. Now he's in motion. Brown. Ball tipped up in the air and incomplete. TJ Bush was in on it. Derek Wilkins got a hand on it.
When you watch the film, Wilkins has a knack for this, getting his big paw up in the sky, batting balls down. Brown's trying to hit a little under route for his receiver at 5 yards.
Being 6'5" helps.
The 6'5" helps. Cal likes their depth at that defensive tackle spot, and another 3rd and long. Not where they want Elijah Brown to be in this game.
Let's see if they dial up a little pressure here from the Golden Bears. Movement.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Nicky Prongos, left tackle.
He's Stanford's best offensive lineman. Again, a unit that's been playing a lot of young guys, moving guys around. First couple months of the season, didn't really have the same rotation there. That's back-to-back drives. We've seen some mental errors from this Stanford offense.
Brown to throw. Incomplete. Looked like he had his man C.J. Williams out there, but defended beautifully by Paco Austin. And it'll bring up 4th down.
Paco Austin gonna break on this ball. Pretty good throw. Excellent job being physical there. In college football, you don't have to allow that receiver to land. You can push him out. Great job being physical there. Austin has 13 pass breakups on the season. The record at Cal is 18. Seeing their reason why.
Good kick by Flintoff. De Jesus driven all the way back to his own 20. Trying to set up his blockers, which he does beautiful. Cuts it back, still on his feet. Man, this kid is dangerous. Flag down behind the play. We'll check the marker, but that can't take anything away from how dangerous De Jesus is with the ball in his hands.
2 seasons ago, he was an All-American return man at UNLV. Big part of his game. It's not just offense.
We've got 2 flags in 2 different areas on the field as Nate Black and his crew discuss things. One way back here at the Stanford 35 and another one near the 30 of the Cal Golden Bears.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both by the receiving team. During the return, holding, number 22, that penalty is declined. During the kick, personal foul, hitting out of bounds. Receiving team number 6, that penalty will be enforced half the distance from the goal, from the end of the kick, 1st down. Timeout on the field.
So Cal will move back up 3 here early on the farm.
College football playoff selection show. The bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
Selection show presented by AT&T, December 7th at noon. A lot of games today, including ones going on right now, that are going to have an impact on those brackets. There's no question about it. Stanford band here in full effect. That penalty against Cal was marked off half the distance from the 20 where DeJesus caught the ball. So that's, in effect, a 32-yard penalty. Once again, Kendrick Raphael having a hard time finding space to run. Give him maybe 2.
Yeah, interested to see what Brian Harsin does here. You try to establish the run. The first drive, you were 3 and out. Second drive was heavy trick plays, ended in a field goal. I think they want to do everything they can to establish the run. They don't want to become one-dimensional and just rely on JKS's left arm to carry the offense and the team all 4 quarters.
Or the tight end Mason Minnie's right arm. I mean, you saw almost everything on that last drive.
I'd be game for more trick plays. At this rate, we're getting 20 this game.
Raphael, that's a nice cut inside to get a little bit more, but again, it's tough sailing here with Darius Davis. That's 2 tackles in a row for the safety for the Cardinal. And it's just 2-3 yards.
Let's see what Bobby April and Andy Thompson dial up there. Co-coordinators, 3rd down, 3rd and 4, whole playbook's open. Got to account for number 21, DeJesus, in the slot, bottom of the screen. Seen him lined up in the backfield a couple times.
Cardinal looking to bring some pressure. Play clock inside of 5. They do bring pressure on the edge. It's picked up. Sanga Politelli has DeJesus. First down.
When it's 3rd down, especially 3rd and 4 and 5, you got to know where DeJesus is. That's back-to-back 3rd down pickups. I guess one last drive, one this drive on out-breaking routes. Now the question is, moving forward, you're now just teeing up the in-breaking route. Cal loves to use option routes where you can sit down, break out, break in. 21 can do it all.
Sanga Politelli to throw, wants it all. Now he pulls it back. Gets what he can, still on his feet, takes a hit at the 36. Matt Rose delivered that hit, but Sanga Politelli was able to get 6 yards.
Got some wiggle to him. True freshman, big guy, 6'3", 225, but quick in the pocket and takes a hit at the end. Don't want to do that. Nice job breaking the tackle, keeping the offense on schedule. It's an offensive line for Cal. Past 5 games, giving up 18 sacks. That's a lot, helping out his offensive line there.
Give to Raphael, sidesteps 1 defender, close to the first down. And he's going to pick it up.
Yeah, see Charlie Eckert on the tackle there, coming down aggressively from his safety spot. Been noticing that a couple times. Stanford's trying to add an additional hat into the box from that safety spot. Wonder if Cal tries to dial up a play action pass over their head.
Sanga Politelli out to Raphael. Nice job coming up to make the tackle. Colin Wright, he's the defensive MVP so far for the Cardinal.
No question. Doing it all. Pass breakups right there, triggering quickly. Coming up with the tackle in open space. So critical because if you miss that tackle, it allows him to be in that 2nd 5, 2nd and 6 range. Get him down on the ground. 2nd and 8, good spot for your defense.
Tight end Mini out of the backfield. Sanga Politelli rolls the pocket this way, fires it inside. DeJesus can't quite make the catch. He was surrounded by 6 Cardinal. Ultimately, it was Jay Green defending on the play.
And Cal's trying to work a little flood route. You get one receiver into the flat, then DeJesus deep, 15 yards on and out. It's excellent football awareness by Jay Green, knowing what DeJesus is trying to do, sitting in that window, and comes aggressively, attacking the ball, attacking the man. And DeJesus coming down with the ball, hits the grass, dislodged there. Back-to-back excellent plays by the Stanford secondary.
3rd down, Raphael comes back into the backfield. Bears 3 for 5 on third down tonight, and Stanford wants to talk things over, calling a timeout. We mentioned Colin Wright out of that cornerback spot. You know, initially I think at the start of the game we'd be talking about the Cal cornerbacks, but it's Colin Wright who's been the big star.
He's done it in multiple ways. It hasn't just been coverage. Right there with the pass breakup. Here, he's going to want this one back. That's an interception, but still an excellent play. And then the big hit on DeJesus. 21's going to remember that one next time he does a 5-yard out into the short side of the field. It's been physical, but it's also been getting it done in coverage. Chris, when we were here a few weeks ago, he was banged up first pit, late scratch. Stanford's glad to have him back.
Redshirt junior out of Missouri City, Texas. Teaming up with Sheo J-Ray on the other side. Both these teams have an outstanding cornerback tandems.
This time DeJesus, top of the screen.
Third down and 8. Sangapolatelli trying to go downfield to him. He makes the catch, but he's just couldn't quite get that foot in bound as Wright again was running with him step for step down the field.
There is no secret what Cal wants to do. DeJesus pointing at the Jumbotron saying, I may have got my foot down. This man is 5'7", 170, and they're featuring him on a go ball down the field. And he made every effort to get that right foot down. He secured the ball. I just think that left foot was on the white line. What an effort. Tight coverage by Stanford.
And this play is going to be reviewed for exactly what you said. There are two issues here. Did he get a foot in bounds? The other thing is, did he step out of bounds first? See that left foot? He stepped out of bounds, so it won't matter.
Yep.
Because he's illegally touching this ball right here. And the official put his hat down. See the official back there behind it? He is sans cap.
Because I think he caught that football if he did not step out.
And he caught that left foot, I think, is the foot that he got in bounds.
The only thing is, does he double tap his left foot and reestablish position? He technically is forced out because Colin Wright is touching him. And now the question is, does he get 2 feet back in?
That's the issue. So they have to determine whether he was forced out first, because I think it's pretty clear that he was out. And if he reestablished, then does he get a foot in bounds after catching the ball?
So he's out there and Wright is touching him. And then he's out there again. Then there's 1 foot down. And it's going to be whether or not he double tapped that left foot on the back end.
Mark McEnany is our replay official tonight, in conjunction with our referee, Nate Black. So there's several things they're looking at on this play. Whether it goes as a catch or not, it just shows you, one, Colin Wright running step for step down the field with Jacob DeJesus. Great coverage. And two, what an unbelievable receiver Jacob DeJesus is to even give himself a chance to make this catch.
It was fun talking with the Cal staff, and Vic Soto, their co-defensive coordinator, handles a lot of their recruiting efforts. And they were saying last year we were watching the Syracuse UNLV film and we're saying, like, who's this little guy tearing up Syracuse? It was DeJesus. He hops in the portal a few months later, and Cal was quick to snatch him up.
The ruling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
Ruling on the field is upheld. Wasn't enough for the replay officials, much to the chagrin of Coach Wilcox, to overturn it. So it'll force a punt. Frank Reich, the interim head coach here at Stanford, keeping his team in it. To your point earlier, they want to muck it up a lot more tonight. Just make this thing ugly here on the farm. Get whistles before Kern is able to get the punt off.
Ball start. Offense, number 22. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down. Please reset the game clock to 11 minutes 32 seconds.
A lot of special teams errors tonight, too. That's something you see a lot in game one, more than you do at the end of November.
He got 6 penalties only in the first quarter, 4 by Cal, 2 by Stanford.
So Kern moves back 5 yards. You got the true freshman, Liam Thorpe, from New York, set to return this kick. Thorpe's going to call for a fair catch. Make it at his own 13. Coming up after our game ends, the ACC Huddle team going to have complete wrap-up of all the action from the ACC today. Highlights, analysis, interviews with players and coaches. Got you covered right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. We'll talk about this game. They'll talk about some of the other games earlier on in the day. Miami with the win. Georgia Tech right now getting blasted by
What a response by Pitt. Very meaningful game in the ACC race. Pitt got beat bad versus Notre Dame a week ago. Still in the CFP hunt.
Coach Narduzzi didn't care.
Not a conference game.
It's all about this week. Apparently they prepared really well for it. Ford just trying to move the pile. Picks up about 4.5. Stanley Soloway McKenzie on the tackle. Stanford offense a really hard time moving the football.
Yeah, this is a big drive. It feels like Cal's had complete command of the game through one quarter, but it's only 3-0. Scoreboard doesn't reflect that. If you put a drive together here, maybe get some points, flips the script.
Right now, 7 plays for 1 yard offensively for Stanford here in this first quarter. They've yet to pick up a first down. Won't pick that up on this play, but very close. C.J. Williams on the catch, and Zeke Massis with the tackle. Justin Wilcox, we're going to hear from him, Cal head coach, on the other side. And Stanford won't get a play off. First quarter in the books. The Bears in the 128th big game, leading 3-0 after 1.
We welcome you back inside Stanford Stadium with Cal up 3-0 with head coach Jacob Wilcox. Coach, Jacob DeJesus has just done it all for you guys so far. What did you see on that last play that led to a review, and what do you want to see more of from your offense in the second quarter?
Yeah, just a shot down the field that he did. It was a heck of an effort. Unfortunately, I guess his foot was out. I think the big thing is special teams penalties, and that's resulted in bad field position. So we got to do a better job on special teams, get better field position, and finish some drives on offense.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Coach Kendra. And that's the first down of the evening for this Stanford offense, as Michael Ford was able to move the pile and move the sticks.
To get going on this drive, they got to feature 20 in the run game. Also got to get Sam Roush a touch. That's always if you're Frank Reich, that's the mentality. Establish the run, and then Roush, even though he's a tight end, a little bit different than the DeJesus package of being a receiver. But tight end, can you find a way to get him easy completions and allow Brown, your quarterback, to get in rhythm?
Let's see if the Cardinal can build on it. Inside of 5 on the play clock for Elijah Brown. Little trickeration for them, too. Bryce Farrell, can he get to the edge? Enough to pick up about 7. Just avoided the tackle initially to get out and pick up some yards. TJ Bush eventually ran him out, but Farrell showing some speed on the outside.
Yeah, not a lot of guys that are going to beat Bryce Farrell to the edge. He's a true 4.3 40-yard dash guy. 6-year senior. He's one of the rare guys that was wearing a Stanford uniform when they last beat Cal. Did not play in that game, but was on the roster.
Actually gave up football before last spring and got the hankering for it some more. Flea flicker, trying to find Roush downfield, and he's covered beautifully that time by Cade Uluwave. Nice to see somebody with a neck roll. Stanford's got a couple of guys. Roush is one of them.
We said it. Wanted to get Sam Roush a target, one-on-one matchup. Best defensive player versus best offensive player. Cade Uluwave been banged up the past couple of weeks. Pretty good coverage. Really good throw by Brown. Gave Roush a chance there. That's a matchup that Stanford would take one-on-one with your best skill player.
That's really dangerous. My goodness, Zeke Massis almost had interception number 6 on the year.
And almost had the nation's lead by himself in interceptions. Right now he's tied with a couple guys with 5 on the year. That was almost 6. Remember Cal last year with Noel Williams, now playing with the Kansas City Chiefs, led the country in interceptions with 7. There's something in the water in Berkeley. He's going to want that one back. That could have changed this entire drive. He would have caught that and had room to run too.
Flintoff now to kick it to DeJesus. High in the air and shanked. This is not going to be a very long punt at all. As a matter of fact, they're going to mark it at the 43-yard line. Still marking it back, but it's going to be great field position for Cal when we come back. University. Herbert Hoover, of course, the 31st president of the United States, and the architect of the big game
Made
in
it happen.
1892.
The student manager way back in the day.
Yes. Cal Ball at their own 45. Kendra's standing by with a special guest.
Yeah, guys, thanks, Chris. I'm here with Stanford's general manager and Andrew Luck. We were talking a little bit about how important this rivalry is. For you, being able to be a part of it, how meaningful is it?
It's huge. It was great to be as a player and now be as a GM and watch these guys. I'm going to watch here for a second. Oh, ball! Go, Jay, go! Go, Jay! Go!
We just talked about this rivalry. To see that play just now, I mean, describe the emotion.
Hard to say. It's a hell of a job by Omar and Jay Green. It's good. Let's get it going now, all right? Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
That's what that is all about right there. That is exactly why you've got a guy like Andrew Luck. You said it earlier. He is hands-on. What a play by Jay Green. If you can't get anything going offensively, make a play on defense and turn a turnover into points. First lead of the night. For the Cardinals, they get into the end zone, the first team to find their way into the end zone, and it took a defensive play by Jay Green to do it. Kenny for the PAT, and Andrew Luck brings luck for the Cardinals. They take the lead.
Cal went back to the well with another trick play. Jacob DeJesus going across the field, tries to cut back. Ball security optional. Jay Green picks it up in a house call right in front of his general manager. They call him Coach Luck for a reason, a happy observer. When you are a coach and there's live action behind you, got to get eyes on it. He's glad he saw that one, front row seat. Said it a couple times, but not a lot of GMs you're seeing on the sideline drinking water, clapping hands with the guys, coaching, encouraging. You know, Stanford's in a unique spot where obviously Frank Wright, you know, he's going to transition out here in a couple of weeks. Andrew Luck has really had to recruit as if he is the head coach as they try to build in towards the future. And then also the other GM duties that most GMs have, working with campus, admissions, fundraising. But Luck takes on more than I think other GMs around college football.
Kenny sails it over to Jesus' head. Third defensive touchdown on the season for Stanford. As you see, Andrew Luck, what a great player he was here. Two-time Heisman Trophy runner-up. Had a relatively short career in the NFL, but a very good career. Decided to get out on his own terms.
Was only with Frank Reich for 1 year in Indy before he retired. Obviously well documented, retired somewhat early. Health reasons being a factor. Now very much back in football, and it's well documented. Stanford's raised a lot of funds that I'm sure they're going to look to use this offseason with both their head coach and also in the portal. We're more active in the transfer department this offseason than any other offseason.
Raphael, that's the best run for him on the night. He'll pick up 7 on first down, and now for the first time tonight, the true freshman, Sangapolitelli, having to respond. There's a shot of Luck and Reich, the 1 year they were together at Indianapolis.
Grew a lot closer in a friendship when Luck was going through his injury battles, confiding in his head coach. Frank Wright had a successful playing career himself, knows the grind and the toll of being a quarterback.
Raphael close to that first down. He's going to be about half a yard shy. There he is, getting the crowd into it as well here on the farm.
Doing it all. I think he senses what this could be momentum-wise. Cal's controlled much of this game offensively. Stanford gets the one big play opportunity to double down on that momentum and give your offense a shorter field.
Cal's converted 3 of 6 on third down. Sangapolitelli under center. Gives it to Raphael. He's met the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Matt Rose and Josiah Galvan. The two linebackers forcing him back. The safety Mitch Lieber involved as well.
Cal lines up with 3 tight ends, 13 personnel to the left, but then they don't really run behind him. He runs right behind the guard and more the tackle. I thought they had numbers on the outside edge. Excellent job by the Stanford front 7. Knowing that it's 3rd and short, triggering quickly and physical at the point of attack.
Kern, a low kick. High calls for the fair catch at his own 24. Stanford with the lead here and all the momentum. Cal's had some unbelievable quarterbacks in their history. Here's the recent history with Jared Goff. And then going way back, look at those uniforms on the left.
Throwback. Goff was the last true freshman quarterback for Cal to start. Now JKS. Stanford's got some good guys too. Jim Plunkett, Heisman Trophy winner 1970. Then John Elway played in the famous 1982 big game. Was his last game in college. And then the man we just talked about, Andrew Luck, trying to revive what was the most successful era in Stanford football.
While we were away, the officials called an equipment penalty against Stanford, and it resulted in a first down. So Cal keeps possession. Again, a huge mistake on special teams. Saw a lot of mistakes by Cal in that first quarter. This is a big one by Stanford as Raphael catches the ball, but is hit immediately by Jay Green. Jay Green, Colin Wright, a couple of members of the Stanford secondary that are making big plays out there.
For everyone sitting at home being like, what just happened? Equipment violation, and from what we're being told, 2 guys wearing the same jersey number. So a miscommunication on Stanford staff getting guys in there.
Just an unforced error. And Jay Green stepping up to put Cal behind the chains. Sangapolatelli has all kinds of time, and he hits his tight end over the middle. Nothing much doing there as Stanford only rushed 3. They dropped everybody else back.
The defense's leading tackler right there, Matt Rose. His defensive coordinator, Bobby April, told us that the defense goes as Matt Rose goes. This is a matchup where the linebackers have to be great in pass coverage. JKS tests the linebackers, forcing them to drop deep They put a lot of pressure on those guys to cover and not only tackle.
3rd and 11. Sangapolatelli, pressure off the edge. That's Grizel. And he's going to pick up the first down by just a yard. 12 yards on the pitch and catch. So the big receiver of San Marino, California, picks up the first down.
And the former walk-on, now on scholarship. He caught this ball, and then he didn't necessarily realize where he was. He went back, and he wouldn't have got the first down, and then that last lunge got him the first down. Taller receiver, 6'4". Oftentimes you're seeing him on the outside lanes, right there, getting it done in the middle.
Right on the Stanford Sequoia. Raphael taking a big hit from Matt Rose. Matt Rose is filling the gaps, preventing this Cal run game from getting anything going.
Yeah, the front seven for Stanford playing well. They're pressing and putting a lot of pressure on the front side of those runs. We've seen multiple times Raphael having to put his foot in the ground and cut back. And the linebackers have done a nice job filling in those gaps.
Rose has 7 tackles on the night. It's a broken record with Raphael, but it's just a 1-yard gain. Sangapolatelli to throw. Good catch on the outside. That was Grizel again making the catch. Short gain though. Brandon Nicholson on the coverage.
So many offenses we cover have receivers that are very much interchangeable in that you have 6'1" guys across the board. That is not Cal. Cal has very distinct roles for their receivers. Grizel's the big body guy. Jordan King almost looks like a tight end in the slot there, 6'2", 220. And then DeJesus, who we talked about as the quick guy, they're moving all over the park.
Sangapolatelli to throw. I believe he's going to be short. I think Mason Minnie is going to be just shy.
We got to keep an eye on that. Mason Minnie was banged up. Versus the Louisville game, they put him on a pitch count. He barely played. He's hobbling off the field there. That's a big loss. I like the call, though. You call that on 3rd down, quick hitter. Don't allow Stanford's defense to get a sack, knowing you're going to go for it on 4th and short.
Which is exactly what they're doing here. Timeout called by the Bears.
Timeout. Cal. Timeout on the field.
Midway through this 2nd quarter, Bears staring at a 4th down when we come back. That's the face Tiger was making right there when Jay Green scored Stanford's only touchdown, and as you circled there, 16 yards of offense.
I'm sure there was a Tiger fist pump in his living room if he is watching this. One of the Stanford greats. But yeah, the story of this game, it's really just been that one fumble recovery for Stanford, return it for a touchdown. Offense hasn't done much, but momentum-wise, Stanford's got it right now.
And the bend don't break defense has worked for them so far. Here's Cal, fourth down. Sangapolatelli's looking to throw. He has to Jesus, makes the catch. Driven out of bounds at the 24. Bold call that time by offensive coordinator Brian Harsin, but he found 21 wide open.
It shows you the trust they have in their true freshman quarterback and their playmaker, Jacob DeJesus. Fourth and short, no oftentimes that Stanford's going to load up the box, give you man coverage on the outside, and you're trusting that DeJesus is going to win that one-on-one matchup. We told you in the open, he's productive. Already 7 catches on the day.
That's 8. Oh, what a play to bring him down, though, in the backfield. Mitch Lieber.
This is absolutely clinic tape by the Stanford secondary today. Tackling in open space, one-on-one with DeJesus. He's quick. Lieber says, I'm physical. Right in the alleyway, a man that's played a lot of football in a Stanford uniform. He'd want nothing more to come out with the rivalry win, coming up with a big tackle there.
Fifth-year senior from Laguna Hills. It's almost like he should be wearing a neck roll. Second down and 12. Fake to Raphael. Pump fake. Now Sangapolatelli wants to go to the end zone. Has a receiver. That's Jaden Dixon-Field. Inside the 5. We got a flag well behind the play. Let's check that marker.
Result of the play is a first down after the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 66. 15-yard penalty, will be first down.
Jordan Spasovic-Moko, the guilty party. You see Coach Wilcox and Ron Rivera having a word, so they're inside the 5, then they'll march 15 yards back.
See the arm strike by JKS fitting into a small window. Dixon-Field only had 2 catches on the year. That's his 3rd, picking up the first down, and then afterwards must have got Spasovic-Moko. Talking about the penalties in this game. That's Cal's 5th in the first half, already 48 yards, and again working against you. Instead of it being first and goal on the 2, first and goal on the 17-yard line.
Thirteenth play on a drive that's taken over 7 minutes off the clock. Lieber and Stanford showing pressure. It's picked up over the middle. Grizel with the catch. Got leveled at the 5. Now a flag comes out very late. Tron Grizel made the catch. Colin Wright with the hit, and then the flag came out.
Yeah, they're going to look at Lieber on a targeting call right here with Grizel coming over the middle. Nice throw by JKS, right on target. That's high. That's a kill shot for Tron Grizel. Great job receiver-wise, coming down with that over the middle.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 32. That foul is under further review.
So the call is going to go against Lieber for targeting. Grizel's fired up.
Let's see here. Does a pretty good job of keeping his head up, Lieber does. You're not seeing the lunging there. You are getting the head or neck area. Then he finishes more with the lunge. Question will be, does that get off the side of the face mask there? To me, if the call's targeting there, and then I think his forward moment with that, or momentum with the crown of helmet, obviously not hitting the chest plate of Grizel. Get upheld there.
It's a big call in this game. Frank Reich knows it. His secondary's played really well tonight. Lieber, Wright, Green, Jayra Gray. The officials are taking their time looking at this one, knowing how big of a call this is.
Yeah, this one to me is harder because I think Lieber does a good job trying to keep his face mask and head up. And then I don't think it's not a lunge in the traditional way that they're trying to remove out of the game, but his momentum obviously is falling forward at the end.
Our referee, Nate Black, in the center. Consultation with our replay official, Mark McEnany. Player in question is Mitch Lieber on the left, starting safety, who has made a couple of big plays on this drive alone.
Lieber's body language is as if he is staying in this ball game.
He's probably thinking you're gonna have to drag me off this field. And we'll get the verdict from Nate Black.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. Result of play, first down.
Yeah, good call, partner. You saw it. Lieber stays in, but it's a...
Yeah, in the grand scheme of the intent of the rule, as a safety, that's what you want him to do. He's keeping his eyes up, or he's at least trying to. And then Grizel, he comes down low. Not a lot you can do safety-wise there. Good play by Lieber. Good job by the refs cleaning it up. And a great catch by Grizel. That's the biggest part. You get the first down. First and goal here again.
More flags. Substitution violation against Cal.
First down.
These are mental mistakes too. These are not hustle penalties.
Yeah, this is the problem when you rotate so many offensive linemen for Cal. I mean, in the past few weeks, they've played and started 8 different offensive linemen, 9 different offensive linemen, and then you come to the park with 31 personnel groups or formations, excuse me. Most teams, we talked with Stanford about that. Most teams have 15, 16 formation. Cal has 31 plus a lot of rotating going on the offensive line. When you're in these packages, it can be tough to get all the men lined up.
Sangapolatelli fakes it to Raphael. Looking to run it himself. Picks up maybe 3. Nicholson on the tackle. He had Kendrick Raphael in front of him. That play just seemed like it took forever.
Yeah, and it looked like there might have been a miscommunication, like there should have been one additional blocker or receiver out there. They had one guy. Stanford was right on top of it. Back-to-back miscommunications for this Bears offense.
Sangapolatelli 9 for 9 on this drive. They've been forced to move it almost exclusively through the air here, keeping himself inside the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown. That's the best run of the day for this Cal team, and it comes with Kiame Sangapolatelli keeping it himself on the design quarterback draw.
It's an excellent call by Brian Harsin. We talked about those formations, all 31 of them. You spread them out wide, you get numbers in the box, not enough Stanford defenders in there. And we don't talk about Jaron Kiave Sangapolatelli's legs a lot, but his quickness can very much be a factor. The question now for Cal fans watching is he okay? Took a shot there at the end towards the goal line. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Justin Wilcox describes him as having that aloha way about him from Hawaii, but also being a killer as far as being competitive. They're looking at the knee here. Takes a shot there. Don't see him down yet. I think the ball crosses before, at least from that vantage point. I don't see his knee down. Let's see if we can see it here.
What a cut right there too. Back against the grain. Juke out Sam Mattingly.
The knee is down there, but you can't see where the ball is there. He falls into the end zone, but you can't see where it is there with the knee going down. Remember, the play on the field was ruled a touchdown. That was the call. So you're going to have to find some evidence that says when that knee was down, the ball hadn't broken the plane yet.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Not enough to overturn it. They uphold it. Sangapolatelli gets the score. Cal back on top.
Nice response on that drive. Drive before you had the DeJesus fumble that resulted in a Stanford score. Cal's offense has been playing well. It's really just been that one turnover and some field position penalties, but they've been moving the ball this first half.
Chase Meyer converts the try. That was a big-time drive. Jaron Chiave Sangapolatelli finished it off on his own.
Efficient night, 17 for 21. That's one thing that does jump out. Come into this game, 61% completion percentage. You'd like that to be a notch higher for how talented he is. He does stay efficient. 17 for 21, obviously, that's a high level. That's a good recipe for this Cal offense. Right there talking with his backup quarterback, Devin Brown. In the offseason, Devin Brown was a big transfer portal get for Cal. Coming from Ohio State, was in that quarterback battle. A lot of people thought it was going to be his show. JKS then shows up after a quick pit stop at Oregon for Rose Bowl practice. And when JKS won that job, I think it put the whole ACC on notice of this guy might have something special.
Caden High takes a knee. And now Stanford has 4:38 to respond here in the end of this first half. Big rivalry games coming up this week. Georgia Tech Friday on ABC. Battle for the Commonwealth in Louisville. That game on the ACC network. You and I will be in Raleigh Saturday night.
Back-to-back rivalry games. Excited for that one. Stanford here on this drive will have nothing more than a long drive. Ideally be the last possession of this half. Most importantly, coming up with some points.
They only had 12 offensive snaps all first half long so far. Brown to throw, going downfield. As a receiver, falls inside of Cal territory. Got a flag down though, right near the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Defense number 3. That penalty is declined. Results of play. First down.
TJ Bush offside. It's not going to matter though.
So much love goes to Sam Roush, rightfully so, but Benji Blackburn, their backup tight end, they think very highly of. I think he'd start at most Power 4 programs. It's got to be a personnel group that Stanford loves. 12 personnel, Roush and Blackburn in there.
Longest play of the day by far for the Stanford Cardinal, 26 yards there in the Cal territory. Michael Ford, good pickup on first down. Stanford's had some great tight ends over the years too.
Look at that list. A lot of them in that Andrew Luck era. Hooper still playing in the NFL. Zach Ertz obviously playing at a super high level. A lot of it was when I was playing Stanford too. The run, it was literally every single tight end they put out on the field ended up being a NFL draft pick, being on fantasy squads 3 years later.
Ford picked up 6 on first down. Cardinal got it cooking here. They're going to go to him again. Again, he gets into the second level. Brought down to the 34, so back-to-back good runs by Michael Ford. Cardinal are in business here.
When you get this run game going, that unlocks the play-action game for Stanford, and that's who they want to be. That's how you get your tight end touches. Michael Ford, 220 pounds, too. If you can get him going, try to wear down this Cal defense as you get into the second half.
Coming into this drive, Stanford only had 1 first down in the entire first half. They've picked up a couple on this drive alone. Staying with Ford in a big hole on the right side. Can't avoid the tackle of Aid Manitai, though. Safety, true freshman, also out of Hawaii. Luke Farrelly in on the tackle as well. There's Manitai.
They think he could be the next great one in a long line of very productive Cal safeties. A lot of guys playing in the NFL. Craig Woodson starting for the Pats. Jalen Hawkins for the Patriots as well. Cam Bynum played safety, now corner for the Colts. Manitai from Hawaii, they think, is next up.
Just riding forward here. Pushes forward for about 3. Ticking down to the 2-minute timeout.
Be a big third down when we come back.
We'll take a break with them. Cardinal, 3rd and 4 when we come back, trailing by 3. Always colorful and animated Stanford band bringing us back. You see the quarterback comparisons on the night. Stanford just 17 snaps in the entire first half, and a big one coming up here. 18 is a 3rd down and 4. Ford still pushes forward and picks up the 1st down. Tough run by Michael Ford.
It's a great cut by him too, knowing where the sticks are, getting upfield, getting behind his pads. That big frame leaning forward. Frank Wright trusts his running back, giving his frame to pick up that 1st down.
They are leaning on him. Doesn't get much on that 1st down carry though. Luke Farrelly again on the stop.
The test for Frank Reich will be when to pick your spots and have Elijah Brown drop back. It's not going to be the JKS blueprint of consistently relying on drop back passes. It's got to be run game, play action, and then when you have your shot plays, that's when it's going to be on Brown to execute.
Cal calling a timeout. They've still got 1 left on the board, so there's Wilcox thinking, get a stop here. Maybe force a long field goal. They'll have some time for Sangapolatelli to do something with it himself. Micah Ford has 6 straight carries on this drive. .27 yards. Sophomore from Toms River, New Jersey, is the workhorse. Brown to throw. Going to the end zone. A lot of contact. And the flag comes out. Paco Austin is going to get called for pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Paco Austin versus C.J. Williams. C.J. Williams, their number 1 receiver, physical on the outside. And the second he starts leaning on C.J. with both hands, that's where I think they got him. It was textbook coverage until about that 5-yard line. Then he really started to lean on him with both hands. Brown was trying to bite it all off in one throw. Saw a one-on-one matchup outside lane. Says, I'll take my chances with Williams.
7th penalty on the night for Cal. 1st and goal for the Cardinal. Cole Tab. Met at the 5, dropped right there. To Polidor, help from Mulawave. And Cal's going to call their 3rd and final timeout.
Cal, it will be 30 seconds.
See right there, Stanford running right behind Sam Roush, the tight end spot. It's a unique element that very few offenses can do because they feel like Roush blocks as well as an offensive tackle does, even though he is a tight end. So when you roll that ball back around in your tab, allows you to have an extra hat there that most offenses don't have that luxury.
Stanford offensive coordinator Nate Beim said Roush is the best blocking tight end in the country. Think about the NFL. We see a lot of tight ends that are like big receivers, but not a lot that you can say, like, yeah, that's a great blocker.
And on the flip side, Vic Soto, Cal's defensive line coach, was like, it's very rare to see a really good college tight end. You might see an athletic tight end, you might see a good receiving tight end, but a guy that is truly the complete package, very rare to find in college football. And like we've said this whole half, Sam Roush, one of those guys, rocking the Nerd Nation shades. Throwback.
Love it. There's Vic Soto, defensive coordinator, linebackers coach for Cal, co-defensive coordinator. 2nd down and goal. Fake to Ford. Brown looking to the end zone. Overshoots his man. Didn't see what he liked in coverage, and for good reason. Williams was double covered. He just chucked that over his head.
I thought initially his first progression, Brennan Doyle was open, 80 tight end into the flat to the right. Brown got going so quick, maybe thinking that, hey, C.J. Williams is the guy they're trying to get to, the guy that's usually open on that route. Can't pre-play that play. Somewhat in no man's land here as a play caller too, because 3rd and 5, probably a couple yards too deep to run it. You're gonna have to trust your quarterback Elijah Brown to make smart decisions in the pass game.
10th play of this drive is a big 3rd and goal. And now Stanford wants to talk things over. No, we got a flag. And now the Stanford coaches are out there saying they called for timeout. The officials are going to meet on this one. The flag was for a delay of game. Frank Reich is out there on the field.
Prior to the delay of game, charge timeout, Stanford. Their 2nd. It will be 30 seconds.
All right, so they got the timeout.
And it came from Elijah Brown. I don't think it came from Frank Reich. It was Elijah Brown, clock winded down. He knew he didn't have enough time to make the audible that he wanted. My guess is Reich gave him 2 plays, and he can check the play to a run play if he has enough time, and that's just a young quarterback still only in his first few starts, not realizing you can't make that call that late in the clock. Luckily they had the timeout to spare.
Wasn't the most demonstrative timeout
You're a little
call
indecisive
either.
there.
Like usually you see, like I think about John Elway, like timeout, like getting all angry. And
The former quarterback in me thinks he knows he's not supposed to do that. So he's like, ah, man, hate it that I have to do this.
So they'll set it all up again here. 3rd down. Brown to throw. Can't find anybody. Now goes to the end zone. Almost a one-handed catch by Roush. He saw him at the last second in the back line, and Roush couldn't quite get his body changed in the direction he needed to make the catch, but it was close.
This was almost an incredible one-handed catch. You get Elijah Brown scanning the whole field, and his feet are not pointed towards the receiver, which I think allows him to not have enough mustard on that. Throw behind Roush a little bit. Maybe he thought Roush was going to settle down. That was so close if you're Stanford. What a drive this has been. What a play that could have been to cap it off.
Emmett Kenny sets up from 23 yards out. It's blocked. Drew Polidor in on the play. Uluave was as well. Big club on his right hand and all. Farrelly got a piece of it as well. Let's see who got it.
Polidor's 2. He's right there in the middle. He got that one clean and easy. Uluave almost picked that up off the bounce and was trying to return it for 6. Drew Polidor, the transfer from Montana State, led Cal last 2 weeks ago in tackles. Now coming up with a special teams play. And Chris, on a day in which they've had a lot of special teams issues, now getting right with a game-changing play there.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 11 seconds. Ball will be placed at the recovery spot. 1st down.
Uluave with a club on his right hand, saying he should have picked that one up and returned it for 6. You see that right hand injury, that arm injury he's got.
What a huge moment, though. Stanford's best offensive drive of the day by far. You get the block field goal, and now you allow your star quarterback with 1:11 left. Yes, you have no timeouts, but an opportunity one last time before the half to put up points on the board.
Jesus in motion. First to the bottom of your screen, now back up top. Tonga Politelli rolls the pocket. Try to get it to his running back, and it falls incomplete. Dropped by Kendrick Raphael. Has not had a first half to write home about.
Nice coverage again by Jay Green in the secondary, dropping under DeJesus. We saw that route early on, rolling out JKS, trying to have DeJesus on a deep out. At that point, only would have been a couple yard gain, so no harm, no foul really in 2-minute mode.
Completely out of sync on that play.
Ball start, offense, number 56. Penalty, still 2nd down. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 6 seconds.
The way that play was shaping up, a false start might have been the best thing to happen on that one.
And Cal fans are sitting at home saying, not again, because they've had snap issues and cadence issues a lot this season. They've had to change out their center. Ruffin's got called for it there. He's playing right guard, Bashan Sweeney at center. It's been an issue for the Bears this season.
8th penalty of the game for Cal. Raphael trying to stretch it. Flag down, ball loose, picked up by Stanford. Touchdown Cardinal. Darius Davis picked it up. We got to check the marker. It looked like Josiah Galvan was the one to force the fumble, but the call, now Nate Black changes the call. Initially, he was going to call it against Stanford.
Recovered by the defense number 10. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
The call was reversed against Cal. The touchdown counts. 2 defensive touchdowns on fumble recoveries by Stanford has them in the lead in this game with under a minute left to go in the first half. Kenny hits the PAT, and we've got to look at that again.
There have been 2 Scoopwood-scored touchdowns that have completely changed this game. You're going to get Raphael off the left side. The penalty comes by Jaden Dixon-Veal. Blockage, ball in the wrong arm. Stanford punches it out. Darius Davis gets the house call. Who punched it out there? Excellent job, aggressive and violent with the right fist.
That was Galvan.
Guy who's been banged up a lot of the year. They're happy to have him back and healthy. What a play. Really, 2 plays in this first half have changed the entire outlook for this Stanford team.
Not as weird as the band is out on the field, but still a really weird first half for Stanford, and the fact that the offense has been, other than that last drive, inept at times tonight, and yet they lead 14-10 here with the final minute left to go in the first half. They'll enforce the blindside block penalty to midfield.
I wonder what they do here, though. DeJesus, always dangerous.
Just kick this thing out of the back of the end zone, don't you?
Oh,
that's exactly what they do.
Yep.
With the penalty, you just kick it through the uprights and keep it away from 21. College basketball season ramping up. We've got some ranked teams featuring an ACC, featured on the ACC network this week. Got Cameron Boozer, number 5 Duke, hosting Howard University at 4 p.m. Then on Monday, that game is tomorrow. On Monday, 6th ranked Louisville hosts Eastern Michigan at 7. Both games not only on the ACC network, but also streaming live on the ESPN app.
So last drive, they turned around, handed it off to Raphael. I took that as, hey, they're going to go into half with all the momentum. Interested to see what they do here. Minute left, no timeouts.
They give it to Raphael. Tries to cut it up. Maybe 2 yards. Ernest Cooper on the tackle.
And again, he's got the ball in the wrong arm. He's got the ball in his right arm when he's running to his left. That allows defenders to punch it out. Got to be careful, Chris. You said it multiple times, but Raphael, he is the featured back. In a college football world where a lot of teams have 1A, 1B, backfield by committee kind of thing, Raphael second in the ACC in carries.
They'll have to snap it one more time. Don't forget, Stanford's going to receive the second half kick. Raphael trying to get something here. Matt Rose makes sure it isn't much. Maybe 2 yards.
What an interesting half. Cal on paper in complete command, but 2 plays allow Stanford to take control going into halftime.
Andrew Luck and company head to the locker room, leading by 4 here on the farm. Let's send you to the studio for the halftime show. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Serve Pro. Here at Stanford Stadium, getting set there for the second half kickoff. 14-10 our score. Cardinal with the lead over the Bears. Max Brown, Chris Cotter with you. A very interesting first half. 71 yards of total offense by Stanford, 66 yards of fumble returns, and both of them were for touchdowns.
Yeah, it was really those two plays were the difference maker in the first half. If you're Cal coming into the second half, keep doing what you're doing, except limit not only the turnovers but the penalties too. Stanford, they've been flying around defensively, but I do think they need to unlock more offensively to keep this game close. I don't think you can rely on those two plays to continually happen in the second half.
Those two big plays defensively gave Stanford all the momentum, and now they get the ball to start this second half to see if they can do something offensively to go along with those two defensive touchdowns in the first half. Third member of our crew is Kendra Douglas. She's standing by in the field.
Well, guys, I walked in with head coach Justin Wilcox with Kyle's team, and I asked him what's going to be the emphasis in that locker room when you talk to the guys. He said it plain and simple. We have to limit the penalties, and he said stop giving the ball to the other team. So those are the two things that he said that they need to fix going into this second half. Guys?
You see Stanford was able to put up some offense when they got Micah Ford rolling there at the end of that first half. Let's see if they continue that with 20 in the backfield. He's starting this second half right now with Elijah Brown. Fake to Ford. Brown now rolls the pocket. Has a receiver open. Williams right at the first down marker.
He got hit late on this one too, took a shot.
Roughing the passer with targeting. Defense, number 41. The previous play is under further review.
They'll review that one, and that is not a good start to this second half for Luke Ferrelli and the Cal Bears.
And not only is this roughing the passer, but they're looking at this for targeting too. Crown of the helmet, head or neck area.
And launching.
And that to me checks those boxes. It's a great throw. Love the call too. If you're Frank Wright, split the field in half, roll your quarterback out, make the read simple, try to get him a completion and get him settled into this game.
And in one play, Stanford is at midfield after they marched off the 15-yard penalty. And Cal may be without one of their starting linebackers.
And right on cue with what Kendra said, another penalty.
Justin Wilcox is pleading his case with the officials. Wilcox, of course, was a great defensive back at Oregon back in his playing days.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. The personal foul for roughing the passer will still be enforced. Automatic first down.
So Ferrelli stays in the game. They take away targeting, but they still enforce the roughing the passer, which means Stanford will scrimmage from exactly the 50-yard line. Wilcox still unhappy with the end result. Ron Rivera right there with him, pleading his case. Again, here we go with the general managers right there on the field in the officials' ear.
We didn't see this at all when we had Cal early October in terms of almost a GM playing a head coach role. I want to see that look again too. I thought that was targeting. Obviously I was wrong, but big for Cal to keep Ferrelli in this game. Obviously, Ron Rivera, no stranger to the sideline. Former head coach, Carolina Panthers.
It's a good start to the second half for the Cardinal. Ford. Ferrelli makes the stock tackle. Gain of 2. That looks like Cedric Irvin. It is. So giving Cedric Irvin a little bit of run here to start this second half.
Irvin's a guy that had a bigger role when Ford was banged up earlier on in the season, and you said it, Chris. I think the recipe for Stanford is they don't mind a grimy game. They don't mind a game where special teams is a factor, but can you do just enough offensively? And to do that, Stanford has to establish some sort of run game here in the second half.
Yeah, they'll go with Ford again now back in the game. Plows into the back of his own offensive line. Just muscles his way for 2 before Jaden Wayne brings him down.
This could be an area that decides this ball game when you're 3rd and 5 to 7. Likely have to throw the ball. Maybe not here. That'll be an interesting decision. Is this 2 down or 4 down territory for Stanford?
Frank Reich, or is this, let's try to pick it all up here through the air? My point was going to be third down when it's Elijah Brown has to convert through the air. That could be the X factor here in the second half.
0 for 3 passing on third down so far in this game. Stanford's only been able to convert twice. Empty backfield for Brown. Cal brings some pressure. It's picked up. Williams with the first down.
Nice job by Elijah Brown. They're bringing pressure, oftentimes man coverage in the back end. Trust your big body receiver, C.J. Williams. We've talked about how good he is on those contested catches. Put it right on his chest, move the sticks. That's playing quarterback at a high level.
Stanford having a hard time getting lined up. And they're going to have to burn a timeout here.
Stanford will be 30 seconds.
Kendra, what do you got for us down on the sideline?
Well, when I caught up with Stanford quarterback Elijah Brown, he told me that GM Andrew Luck will drop in pointers when needed the most. When we talked with head coach Frank Wright about it, he says he encouraged Luck to really lean into that role because these players, they want to hear from a quarterback who's been at that next level. Wright told me that the feedback isn't so much X's and O's, but a lot about the command, controlling the huddle, taking ownership. And Elijah told me it's been huge for his confidence. Guys.
Thank you, Kendra. Well, you've got a head coach who is an outstanding quarterback, and Frank Reich, but he's busy doing a lot of head coaching stuff. If you got another coach out there in the form of Andrew Luck, why not have him talk to your quarterback when he comes off?
And it's a fine line because you also have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, right? You don't want to overload a brand new starter. You got Thomas Merkel, their quarterbacks coach too. Tyler Osborne works with the quarterbacks as well. Obviously, Luck and Frank Reich are household names, but for a young quarterback, don't want to overwhelm him.
Brown to throw, has time. Nice job. Again, Williams brings it in. Found a little soft area, 20 yards downfield. Manitai in coverage, but look at 3 finding the area here.
Excellent catch. Great anticipation by Brown, too. If he's late at all, indecisive at all, that ball might get batted down or picked. Looked like a false start right there, right guard.
False start, offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Khalil House, the right tackle.
I love what Frank Wright's done this drive. You know to win this game, you're going to have to unlock some sort of passing attack. Can't be one-dimensional in this drive. He's gotten his quarterback 3 completions. It allows Brown to settle in this game. Only had a few completions in the first half at all. This drive's done a lot for that quarterback's confidence.
Only had 3 in the first half. He's already got 3 on this drive to start the second. First and 15. Ford, right up the middle. Big hole inside the 15. Down to the 14. Farrelly again on the stop, but that's 8 yards on first down.
And again, Stanford's running right behind their tight end. That time, Sam Roush, lead blocker, picks up a defensive lineman, creates enough room for Ford.
Ford gets a couple. Bring up third down. 5.
Last time they were in this scenario, close to their own end zone, Frank Reich spread them out. More of an empty formation. That's where they barely missed Sam Roush on the back end line. What's the next play call you have to get 86 involved? He's in the slot towards the top of the screen.
Let's see if Brown goes that way. He's looking that way. Instead, he tries to go underneath to Williams. That ball was tipped. Williams couldn't quite grab it. Like big old Derek Wilkins might have gotten one of those mitts on it again. Let's see if 96 gets one of those hands on it.
And I wasn't kidding. Going into this game, Wilkins has 6 pass breakups. Add that as his second one for the day. That's almost more than his corners have. Getting it done at the defensive tackle spot.
Kenny had one blocked in the first half. This one from 30.
Flag the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
The operation for Stanford hasn't been clean. Poor clock management, and Frank Reich right there is making the decision of I'm not going to burn another timeout on the first drive of the second half. I'll take the penalty. We're far enough down. But you're going from a chip shot 30-yard attempt, 35 yards, a little bit more meat on the bone.
6 for 7 from the 30s on the year for Kenny. High snap brought down. Kenny's going to push it wide right. No good. And that one wouldn't be good from 35, 30, any distance. Positive drive for Stanford to start this second half. Ends with no points. The freshman, JKS, back under center for Cal when we come back.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Stanford has 2 fumble returns for touchdowns for the first time in a game since 2005 when they did it against UC Davis, but their most promising offensive drive of the night ends with 0 points. Sangapolitelli. Zell catches it for a short gain of about 4.
First half for Cal offensively, they were moving the ball. Stanford's defense was flying around. We talked about the two turnovers they caused, but I think the message for Cal at halftime is let's just keep doing what we're doing. Eliminate the mistakes, and the overall vibe around the production offensively in the first half would have been a lot different.
Sangapolitelli with an empty backfield. Has all kinds of time to throw. Now into traffic. Almost picked off on the deflection. Nicholson was there to set it up, and Jay Green almost had his second forced turnover on the game.
And this secondary for Stanford playing at a high level. Talked so much about Colin Wright, Jay Green right there. Brandon Nicholson. You can see his size too, 6 foot 190, breaking on that football. Excellent pass breakup. 3rd and 6, here we are again. Got to know where DeJesus is. Their empty formation, DeJesus is on the numbers. Another one of these Cal formations.
Pressure. Raphael is there to pick it up initially. Now Songapolatelli can do it with his legs. Won't get there though. Matt Rose tracked him down and forced him out of bounds. Shy of the marker by about 2 yards.
Wilcox was verbally saying it looked like go, 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 but that's a signal for their punt team. I'd imagine if they were maybe 10 yards further down the field, 15 yards further down the field, you go for that. Instead, they're electing to punt it. Good job by that Stanford defense, finding a way to get off the field, flush JKS out of the pocket.
Not a great kick from Kern. High. Can't do anything with it. He caught it right on his sideline. Stanford with the ball and the lead when we come back.
All right, here we go with the kickoff. Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won.
Joe Starkey on the call. Half the people watching are high-fiving. The other half are throwing the guac at the television set, having watched the play from 1982. We saw the Stanford Axe. That's what they're playing for. It's what they've played for every game going back to 1933. And when Stanford, by the way, holds the Axe, they change the score from the 1982 game to what they feel like it should be, which was a Stanford win, not a Cal win, as they felt like not once but twice on that play, the runner's knee was either down or the lateral was forward. But we had no instant replay in 1982, so that's that.
How legendary would it have been if, play's already legendary, but if you had some band member lower a shoulder, come up with a tackle in space,
Instead of
knock them down. One of these days it's going to happen. We're going to rush field, maybe Virginia on the grounds, and you get some college kid who's a couple beverages deep trying to be a intramural hero.
So instead of Kevin Bowen lowering the boom on Gary Zurell, it's the other way around. Big drive here for Stanford. Had a good drive last time, missed a field goal though, so they got nothing out of it. Here Caden Hyde trying to pick up the first down. He's going to be just a little bit shy. Wasn't able to pick up much on that play, maybe even a half a yard. They'll bring up 4th down. Luke Farrelly did a nice job of tracking him on that crossing pattern and forcing him out of bounds.
Great job rerouting him too. That's when the linebacker gets hands on the receiver, and that route was supposed to be at 5-6 yards depth. Instead, you can see him get hands on it, and he catches it at maybe 1 or 2 yards. Good job by Hyde trying to stretch out. It's a mesh concept, very popular 3rd down call for offenses around college football. Cal knew what was coming.
Good kick by Flintoff to Jesus. He's going to have to call a fair catch at his own 14, and he makes it. So the Cal defense steps up, forces the punt, which was 46 yards, but it's been Stanford's defense we've talked most about tonight.
They've been flying around, big hits. Made it tough on JKS. This Cal offense has certainly had to earn everything. There's been nothing given. And again, the secondary has very much flashed. Tackling in space, and when the ball's there, ripping it out. 2 scoop and scores have changed the complexion of this game. Josiah Galvin got one. As we're gonna see right here, the punch out. Raphael with the ball in the wrong hand. That one just before half.
More mental mistakes.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Jordan Spazovich-Moko, season high 108 penalty yards against Cal. We are just midway through the 3rd quarter.
Again, this has been an issue for much of the season for Cal. Just the procedural, center, cadence, missing snaps, the whole deal. No right tackle, interesting formation.
Raphael gets about 5. Matt Rose on the tackle. Rose has had a ton of tackles tonight.
That was an interesting call. You run inside, and formation didn't have a tackle on that play. Rose, again, the awfully productive inside linebacker for Stanford.
Got 10 tackles on the night.
Stanford defense is keeping them in it. Playing aggressive, playing on their toes too. We had them versus Pitt a few weeks ago, very much playing on their heels. They've been the aggressor.
Sangapoltelli has to run for his life. Not much there. Jeffrey Johnson made the catch. A drop for a loss. 5th tackle for loss. Charlie Eckert gets him down to the turf.
Getting quick pressure on Kiave Sangapoltelli, flushed out, forced to get to his check down, and then again Stanford tackling in open space. Not allowing that broken tackle to happen for a big play to get loose.
Bears just 1 for their last 6, converting 3rd downs.
DeJesus not in the slot, top of the screen outside.
Sangapoltelli underneath. Raphael can't get there. Matt Rose again on the tackle, kept everything in front of him. And they'll bring up 4th down. Back-to-back 3 and outs for the Golden Bears.
Thought he had DeJesus open on the top of the field. So worried about him going deep. That space right there in college football, that's open. Might not have got the first down, but at least gives you the ball out of your hands and not being a check down, and you give DeJesus the opportunity to make someone miss.
Kern just gets it away, and it's not a great punt. End over end, and takes a Stanford bounce back into Cal territory. The Cardinal with the lead and outstanding field position when we come back. Andrew Luck loving it. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Here on the farm, the 128th big game.
My man's a little chilly. My man's having second thoughts about rocking the Y.
It's all presented by Serve Pro tonight. Stanford with great starting field position on this drive. 3 and out on the last drive. Their first drive of this half, they marched all the way down the field and missed the field goal. Watch out for Brown here. Slides down. The marking right where he began his slide, so it's a 5-yard gain on first down.
Great reactions by Brown. It frees up your play caller if you're Frank Reich too, when you know, hey, if things aren't there or your offensive line isn't perfect, if you're a quarterback, can make something with his legs, still pick up 5 yards, keep your offense on schedule. It allows you to call the next shot play later on in the possession.
Ford just tripped up at the line of scrimmage, falls forward, picks up 2. This is a big 3rd down. What are you thinking here? You 2-down territory, or I should say 4-down territory? 2 more downs.
Defense is playing so well. I know people at home never like the conservative approach, but if you can pin them, right now I think this depends what they got on 3rd down. If it's 4th and inches, I'd go for it, but if they don't get much or get stuffed, I'd punt it. But right here, I think you got to trust your big back, Micah Ford, and what Stanford's consistently done today is run right behind their tight ends, behind Sam Roush, 86.
Brown under center. Ford, look at that move to get free and to get the first down.
They don't run behind Roush, but they run behind Simeone Pale. Big right guard in there for Stanford. It was one of the key players they got back at the bye week. Has been out since the BYU game. 12 starts in 2024, 7 starts in 2023. He's in there, allows him to create some space and run right behind him.
First time we've seen Champ Hampton in the game at tailback, number 34 in red. Williams in motion. Brown to throw, going to the end zone, tangled up, and the flag comes out. Caden High got all kinds of tangled up with the defender. And Zeke Massis is going to get called for pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
We get Zeke Massis on a grab here, try to work a double move and get a little scissors concept where the receiver breaks in towards the post, the tight end breaks out towards the pylon. Massis knew he was beat. Caden High with his speed. Might have been a good thing for Cal. If he gets past Massis, that might have been a touchdown.
Cal has 123 penalty yards against them in this game. Stanford has 147 yards offense. Ford pushing the pile, still going, churning his legs. Gets 5 on first down.
This is where Stanford has stalled out so far, or previously when they're down here. Missed field goal.
Blocked field goal also.
Blocked field goal.
3 red zone trips, 0 points to show for it for the Cardinal.
If I'm Frank Reich, if I'm passing this ball, 86 Roush has to be involved in the concept somehow. One thing we haven't seen is a jet sweep in a while to Farrell or High. We try to catch Cal's defense sleeping. There's been so much interior run game.
Roush in motion there. He's got 1 catch on 4 targets. They keep it on the ground. Tab outside. The Cal does an outstanding job stringing it out.
Excellent job by Chris Victor. Defensive end outside linebacker, physical at the point of attack, stretching it out, allowing his safety Aiden Monotai to come in there and make a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Instead of that being 3rd and short, now you're 3rd and 8. Have to think this falls on Elijah Brown's shoulders to come up with the completion here. If you're Brown, though, got to be smart with the football. I know your kicker's missed 2 field goals already, but field goal doesn't hurt you. Can't take a sack.
Brown to throw. Going to the corner, overshoots his man. Trying to hit Marcus Brown. Josiah Wagner was in good position. Just overthrown. So Kenny will come back on. As you mentioned, he had one block in the first half. Missed wide right on his last attempts here in this second half. Kenny came into the night 13 for 16, kicking on the year.
This is the hash mark they were on when they blocked the kick. So you're having your rush towards the right-hand side of this field goal unit.
36-yard attempt. Gets it up and splits the uprights. So Emmett Kenny bounces back and converts his first field goal of the night. Encouraging words from Coach Wilcox. His defense is certainly keeping Cal in this game because the offense has completely stalled out.
They have. Stanford defense came to play.
Andrew Luck. There's Roxy Bernstein, our colleague. Proud Cal alumnus, 19 something or other.
I got a question.
We won't give you this specific year.
I have a question about what's going on with Cal Athletics. You got to text that man right there. Had the pleasure of calling a couple games with him on the Pac-12 networks.
Since Cal's 15-play touchdown drive, where Sangapolatelli took it in himself, 10 plays on offense, 23 total yards, and 0 first downs. Tip of the cap to the Stanford defense.
What they've done a really nice job on is only 57 yards rushing, 20 carries for this Cal offense.
Yeah.
Making them one-dimensional. And Cal's had their moments where they've gotten their receivers involved, but no run games and the mistakes like we've talked about has allowed them to stall out as we have a penalty here.
Another penalty to start a drive.
Prior to the officials' timeout to adjust the clock, an Eagles substitution offense, more than 11 players on the field. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Coming out of a change of possession, you have too many people in the huddle. How are you going to get the running game going if it's 1st and 15 at the start of every drive?
There's no excuse. Second time we've seen that. It's the downside of being a heavy formation offense.
Sangapolatelli on the play fake, has time. Tron had that ball deflected before it got to Grizel. Then he paid the price for it. Jay Green was defending on the play.
And again, I thought he had Jacob DeJesus open on the top of the screen. He got DeJesus on a little post corner. That's open. There's no one underneath him as well. You get that ball out on time. I thought there was some room. You can see DeJesus being like, I want that football.
And this is coming off a game where he was targeted 23 times.
That's back-to-back times, too. You have to wonder if JKS is maybe pre-playing the play in his mind, getting through his reads too quickly. That's a slow developing route post-corner. You got to trust your protection.
21 has been a non-factor in the second half of this game. Makes a catch, picks up 5 yards there. It's 3rd and long coming up.
That to me is Brian Harsin saying, hey, let me get my quarterback and my playmaker an easy catch, where he is the featured guy, no doubt about it. Only problem is that's 5 yards. You're 3rd and long. Stanford defense is only getting more and more confident. These linebackers are flying around, and the corners really haven't been tested down the field, pushing the ball down the field because they've been playing so well.
Cal's last 3rd down conversion early in the second quarter. Ball on the ground. And Stanford has it. Matt Rose comes out of there with it, and for the 3rd time tonight, Cal puts the ball on the turf in their own territory, and Stanford recovers. The Bears offense has been their worst enemy, and the Cardinal returned the first 2 fumbles for touchdowns. Now they're set up at the 20-yard line.
Cal's had snapping issues all year long. That one's low. JKS should still get it, though. He almost starts his drop before he catches the ball, and at that point it's by his kneecap or shin, but that has been the issue. Bastion Sweeney is the center there. He's coming in reserve. Tyson Ruffins was the center at some point. We were talking about with Justin Wilcox and their staff. They were doing snapping drills all bye week. 5 different centers. He knows that's nothing new.
Ford. Polidor on the tackle, but Ford picks up 4 on first down.
It's going to be on this Cal defense. Can they bow up?
Ford has been the workhorse here, hitting that right calf muscle. How about that play, though, too? You got your tight end coming in motion. Elijah Brown under center. That's some old school stuff right there. Tight end like a fullback, lead blocker in the hole.
It'll be interesting to see what Stanford does in the years ahead, too. Do they get back to more of that? It's very much Andrew Luck, David Shaw days. That was their identity.
Tap. Picks up a couple.
That's Brent Austin from his corner spot, knifing in there, getting involved. Love to have Ford here in his big body, close to the goal line. Yep.
Bringing him in, 20 in red.
Such a key play, the opportunity to keep rolling. Touchdown here to go up 14. Rather than stalling again and just getting a field goal, night and day difference.
Brown keeps it. Has blockers in front of him, inside the 10 and lowers his shoulder. Polidor makes the tackle, but inside the 5. 9 yards, and Elijah Brown wouldn't be denied. Cardinals set up first and goal. When we come back, 3 quarters in the books. Cardinals trying to spring the upset here at home. For the 128th time, the big game goes to the fourth quarter.
What a run of quarterbacks and running backs right there. Marshawn and CMC.
That's what they're playing for, the Stanford Axe. And Stanford right now not only has the lead, but first in goal. And Ford extends that lead.
Camp looked good on that one. Set it to start the half. We're going to need a steady dose of Micah Ford to take control in this game, and that drive did exactly that.
"21 points off turnovers." It's been Stanford making the most of Cal mistakes tonight and taking full advantage.
With the multiple red zone trips they've had, this is the one where they punched it in. I like the call. Put Bryce Farrell in motion. You got to honor the jet sweep. Running right behind that right side. Almost untouched there.
Cal hasn't even picked up a first down since the 5:49 mark of the second quarter.
First half was all about, I feel like the game was on Cal's tempo. They were controlling the pace. To your point, third quarter's been all Stanford, offensively too.
That's the man right there. Wants a chance. Will he get one here? He will not. He'll let it sail over his head. The Stanford defense has come to play tonight. Very opportunistic.
And it's been at all three levels too, but right here, tackling an open space. And that play right there is when Cal had all the momentum. They were running the ball well, and you get the fumble recovery once. Happens again here. Josiah Galvin with the strip. Matt Rose has been flying all over the field. Picks up a fumble recovery there. It's been penalties and miscues by Cal caused by Stanford that have decided this game so far.
Sangapolatelli. It's DeJesus. That's the man they want to get more involved. He was all kinds of involved in the first quarter of this game. Haven't seen much from him since.
That's the thing, the Stanford defense, not only have they tackled well, creating turnovers, also limited the big play. They've made Cal march down the field and have to execute consistently, and obviously they've proven that they cannot do that with the penalties. Got to keep doing that if you're Stanford. Keep everything else in front of you.
Fake to Raphael, pressure up the middle. Sangapolatelli just has to let it go. Time intended for DeJesus, but that was really just a throwaway. Third down.
They're going to get Clay Patterson, their defensive tackle, rushing right up the middle. Getting pressure on the true freshman at that defensive tackle spot. Just beats Sweeney right off the ball. Doesn't give your quarterback a chance to come up with the completion. 3rd and 5. It's DeJesus time. Stanford knows it. Cal knows it.
They bring pressure off the edge, and they get home. It's Ernest Cooper.
Love the call by Bobby April. Played a lot of coverage in this game, trusting your front four to get pressure. This time, you blitz the linebacker that's head up over DeJesus. A different look for the young quarterback. Not enough guys up front to block the pressure, and the Cardinals get home.
And Sangapolatelli was slow getting up as he runs off gingerly after taking that hit. high from his 42. Dropped immediately. Second sack of the night for the Stanford Cardinal. Ernest Cooper brings down Sangapolatelli. It's all Cardinal.
ACC championship game. To the end zone!
December 6th, 8 o'clock, ACC championship game in Charlotte. Nothing has been decided yet. Not even in Atlanta. That game is still up for grabs. This one is too, but Cal better get something going, and they're going to have to get the ball back first from Elijah Brown. Nice catch. Sam Roush. They'll move the sticks. Kendra, what's going on?
Well, I was looking at JKS just kind of sitting here, and he looks good, guys. And one thing he was doing, he was going up to his guys, telling them, I need you guys to get into this. Keep on going, keep going. He was continuing to motivate his guys, but coming off that hard play that we saw just now, he is walking a little gingerly, but so far just sitting here motivating his guys to do better, guys.
Yeah, he's got to stay motivated. They're going to need him here in the last 12:50 of this game. Right now with great field position, though, Cal defense has got to get off the field first. Brown just gets the play off. Ford finds room, makes a great move, and almost broke free. Polidor got a little shoestring, and that prevented Micah Ford from taking it to the house. Still 11 yards, first down.
And that's old school Stanford football. Check into the run play. 2 plays walking up the line of scrimmage. You like the look front-wise against the defensive line. Hand the ball off to Ford, and Cal's lucky he didn't break that tackle and get in the house for 6. Now the mindset for Stanford is obviously keep this momentum, but if you can take some clock off, there's a lot towards putting this game away.
Ford. He's getting 4 yards on first down on a regular basis now. You got 3 tight ends in there. You got Elijah Brown going under center and just handing it to 20. 21 carries, 94 yards now for Micah Ford.
Looks like Stanford defensively has come up with some big plays. Cal's defense could use one here.
Same exact formation. And now movement blows it up.
False start, offsets, number 58, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Another procedural penalty, something wrong with the cadence. If you're Elijah Brown here, your mindset here too is, let me just try to get 2 first downs. I don't need to get everything. I don't need to score a touchdown necessarily. Obviously you'd like that, but a field goal would go such a long way.
Ford just bangs into the teeth of that Cal defense, but muscles his way for an extra yard or two. Kiana Ina on the tackle.
It's a name we haven't called a lot today. Kiana Ina, Cal's defensive tackle, their best defensive lineman. He's playing a lot of young interior offensive linemen for Stanford. Bright future. They've called on several true freshman offensive linemen to anchor them in the middle of the offensive line. That's a tall task going against 47 play in, play out.
Brown going to the end zone, and Williams, he's got him! Touchdown, Cardinal!
What a throw by Elijah Brown. Trusting his man C.J. Williams to win one-on-one, and it was a fist fight on the sideline between Williams and Masses. He was able to win the foot race. You can see him fighting, battling, right up against the sideline. He doesn't step out, and it's perfectly thrown right over the shoulder. Excellent job by Brown, trusting that his #1 receiver is going to win that matchup. This second half by Elijah Brown in the game that Frank Wright has called. He has done an excellent job, not trying to do too much. I know where my one-on-one matchup is. Let me put my team up 21.
ACC Primetime Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
Stanford's defense carried them through the first 3 quarters of this game. They've finally gotten the offense going, both running it with Micah Ford, now going up top and finding C.J. Williams, the big touchdown catch, 31-10.
That man, Andy Thompson's got to be fired up. Defense has been flying around, and you said it perfectly, Chris. It was the defense that kept him in it in the first half. When Cal had some momentum, defense showed up big for Stanford, and then this second half, man, it's been all Stanford offensively, putting up points.
DeJesus waiting for an opportunity. This one goes out of bounds. Certainly good field position here for Cal to start this drive.
Kicking team. By rule, the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Coming up after our game ends, the ACC Huddle crew, they got the complete wrap-up of all the day's action from the ACC, and there's a lot of it, folks. Highlights, analysis, interviews, players, coaches, they got you covered. Talk about this Georgia Tech Pitt game that's got a couple minutes left in it in Atlanta. And then we've got 10 minutes left in this one.
Good sign that JKS is back out there for Cal.
Give to Raphael. And Matt Rose has prevented him from doing pretty much anything tonight.
Rose has been flying around. Sees run, triggers right away. And that's the thing, Cal really hasn't forced these middle linebackers to cover.
Sangapolatelli, Rose for the 3rd time tonight. Stanford brings the freshman down.
Zach Rowell from his defensive tackle spot too. Getting in there. His buddy Matt Rose as well. Both guys back-to-back plays. Matt Rose clearly the team leader in tackles coming into this game. He was at 83. Next closest was 50. Awfully productive.
He's got 13 on the night. Fumble recovery, that sack. Sangapolatelli has Grizel, first down. The first Cal first down since just past the midway point of the second quarter, 20 yards.
Yeah, Grizel finding a little soft spot, settling down. A little curl route, nice job by JKS, driving that football to the far side of the field.
Little life for the Bears. Sangapolatelli. DeJesus gets 7.
Cal offense is comfortable operating in this 2-minute mode. I said it, JKS going into this game led the ACC in attempts. They're used to slinging the ball around the park.
Grizel again. Ojayra in coverage, but another 13. All it took was Cal to get into a little bit of a rhythm and not be shooting themselves in the foot.
Sometimes when you run tempo too, it allows your offense to just think less. Just go play.
6th catch on the night for Grizel. Stanford showing a little bit of pressure from the edge. They come with it, it's initially picked up. Double move, and he overshoots his man. That was Karan Adams.
Looked like a miscommunication too. JKS thought Adams was going deep right away. Adams chopped his feet down.
The shake of the head from Wilcox. I think you're right on that one.
A lot of those things today. Film session, regardless of how this game plays out, not going to be pretty on Monday.
Grizel. He and Sangapolatelli got something going on this drive.
It's that same matchup, Grizel versus 22 on the other side. Ojayra.
Sangapolatelli in all kinds of trouble, just tries to flip it. That was dangerous. Hunter Barth almost had himself a pick. Clay Patterson was putting pressure.
The name we haven't called much at all, at least in the second half, is Mason Minnie. They're very athletic tight end. This is the area you'd want them. They've been going with Landon Morris at the tight end spot. This time they have 12 personnel, 2 tight ends in the game. Minnie is not one of them. Must be banged up.
He just has 1 catch on the day. Sanga Politelli, 3-man pressure. DeJesus. Sanga Politelli has time. He's going to find 21 in white. Still though a short gain, so it brings up 3rd down.
There's 2 defenders out there. You got Stevenson, the linebacker, dropping underneath. Behind him, Nicholson, 2 guys there. I'd love a concept where you have Grizel and DeJesus on the same side of the field. See if they motion out DeJesus. He's in the backfield here.
They do, to the near side. Under 5 on the play clock. DeJesus makes the catch at the 10.
That is a heck of a catch and a big boy throw. When your team has to have it, 3rd and 5, a 5-yard speed out, 10-yard speed out. That ball's on the right hash. You're throwing to the wide side of the field. JKS makes that look easy.
13 catches on the night. Pressure up the middle. Sanga Politelli's in all kinds of trouble, gets dropped. Tafiti and Rose got home. Clay Patterson as well. Take your pick. Sanga Politelli was in all kinds of trouble from the jump.
Yeah, you get Rose pressure right up in the 8 gap. Never want to allow that if you're offensive line. JKS trying to make something happen. In hindsight, that is the catastrophic mistake. Credit Rose once again getting to the quarterback, and it's 2nd and forever.
Catch made by DeJesus. But Stanford will take that all day long. 3rd and goal from the 15.
Have to think it's 4-down territory, so don't necessarily have to get everything here. If your check down's there, take it for JKS and help yourself out on 4th down.
Underneath, Raphael makes the catch down to the 6. Jay Green on the tackle. It's 4th and goal.
I like that. Great decision. 4th and goal. Make it a little bit more manageable.
And you got all 3 timeouts on the board, but Wilcox opted not to take one here.
They didn't motion to Jesus last time. Wonder if they do it here. Force the Stanford secondary to communicate, know where number 21 is. Also got Grizel top of the screen, big body receiver.
Sanga Politelli to throw. Comes near side. Got away from him. Incomplete.
That was the exact same route, exact same play call that Cal dialed up to take the game versus Louisville a couple weeks ago. Stanford watched the film, and that route wasn't even deep enough anyways.
Yeah.
Led by Matt Rose, though. The pressure from the secondary, from the linebackers, gets Stanford off the field and up in this game.
Well, Justin Wilcox and his Bears are bowl eligible, but they aren't thinking about that right now. They're thinking about how they let this one get away so badly. And you look at their last 4 drives, absolutely nothing doing until they finally got something going on the last drive, but couldn't get it into the end zone.
Before that drive, first half, he had 196 yards, 10 first downs. Before that drive, it was just 14 yards, 0 first downs.
Ford. Picks up about 4 on first down.
This is a scenario that every offense in the country practices. 4-minute mode. 4:25 left on the clock.
First charge timeout.
Would love nothing more to drive the length of the field
seconds.
on the ground, bleed the clock, and force Cal to keep taking timeouts.
Micah Ford has gone over 100 yards for the 3rd time this year. He's had a great game. We talked about how coming into this game, how Kendrick Raphael was a rarity in college football these days, a real bell cow for Cal, and it's been Micah Ford who's been the bell cow tonight. Raphael has only 47 yards on 15 carries, and a costly fumble as well, deep in his own territory.
Saying a lot about the Stanford offensive line too. On paper, that was advantage Cal defensive line versus Stanford's offensive line. They've settled in nicely.
So coming off of Cal's first time out of this second half. 3rd down and a long 5. Brown again under center. You're going to get a lot of this. Ford finally pushed out of bounds, but a big gain. And his big night continues. 28 more yards.
Showing some speed there too. Cal selling out to defend the run. Get out of gap. Micah Ford making you pay. What a night he's had. Consistently running behind that right side too. And I mentioned it earlier, but Simeone Pale back in this game. First time in a couple months, he's at that right guard spot. He's clearing the way. They weren't sure how many snaps they were going to get out of him. He's played much of the 4th quarter.
Ford wants more. Gets near midfield. Timeout. Again called.
Second charge timeout. Cal. It will be 30 seconds.
Andrew Luck out there congratulating his offense. This is a Stanford team that has done very well here at home. Talked about how we had a great crowd here for this game, as you would expect, the big game. But this will make them 4-1 here on the farm this season.
This would be big. Obviously, they're not bowl eligible, but if they finish the deal here, just end the season on this kind of high note. Obviously, they have one more game next week, but a true step forward, step in the right direction. I imagine a lot will change for Stanford here in the coming weeks. I imagine a lot of these programs with open head coaching jobs will start announcing who their head man is and plan for signing day in mid-December.
They've got the rivalry with Notre Dame, so back-to-back rivalry games for Stanford next week right here on this field. It's an Irish team that just demolished Syracuse earlier today, 70-7. They're hitting on all cylinders right now. Ford again. Cuts it back inside, first down. And the Stanford crowd here appreciating what they've seen from their offense and defense this evening.
Stanford's found something with this formation too. 2 tight ends, 1 on each side, hand in the dirt. Old school Stanford football. And I mentioned it'll be interesting to see what Stanford does into the future as well. Troy Taylor was much more spread. David Shaw towards the end embraced more spread principles, but I think Stanford fans at home want them to get back to their roots when they were at their great. It was multiple tight ends and elite offensive linemen.
This time Ford met at the line of scrimmage, picks up a yard or so. Cal will call their 3rd and final timeout. Cardinal
Third charge
outscored.
timeout. Cal, it'll be 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock. 2 minutes, 58 seconds.
Stanford have outscored Cal 17-0 here in the second half and 24 unanswered.
This is not what we thought at halftime. If anything, at halftime, I was thinking the recipe for Stanford to win was offense just don't make mistakes, defense keep playing at a really high level. The offense has completely opened up. And it gets you thinking about the future moving forward for Elijah Brown, too, and what this second half against your rival does for his confidence.
The Axe coming back out onto the field. 4-game losing streak. Under 3 minutes away from being broken. On to Lisa Rice.
Man,
it's pretty sweet at the end of a rivalry when you get to take pictures before the final gun sounds.
I believe that's Shane Scove, all-time Stanford linebacker. I think different without the eye black and the haircut.
Mohawk.
Yeah.
Long faces, the long faces from the Stanford Axe crew at Cal, the committee.
It's like the scene in Anchorman when the Channel 4 news team comes in to face off.
Yeah. TBS.
There you go.
Univision.
Rick Tamlin.
Photographers scrambling to get a shot. Great student section, by the way.
It'll be 30 seconds.
Stanford's going to call a timeout here. Great student section here today. If you see it here in the sort of one corner of the end zone, they're still here too. This game has been done and dusted for a little while, and all the students have remained. They want to see the Axe changing hands. Nobody in the student body has seen that. There they are.
I believe we heard on the intercom most student tickets ever sold in this matchup, at least at Stanford Stadium.
There's the stare down.
Right? Channel 4 news team.
So good. Great call on your part with the news team.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing no one's got a trident.
You got to lay low for a little while, Chris. I saw you out there.
Ford. Cal knows what's coming. Ford still continues to churn out yards. This will take us to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
Stanford Axe, 2 minutes away from coming back home. Thinking about the luck of the Irish, tonight it was the luck of the luck. Andrew Luck, general manager.
Trading in the blazer for the hoodie. It speaks to all the different hats he's wearing.
Getting the crowd involved.
Getting his guys involved. He also was running security right before half, too, with his team going to the tunnel same time as Cal.
Photo ops. Condoleezza Rice. It has been a full night for a man who knows all about this rivalry. Brown just throws this one away.
Oh, and he can catch. Insert Boobie Miles reference from Friday Night Lights. We gotta get a look at those hands. Look at these soft hands. See, he's probably fundraising, you know, being ready, steps up, boom, easy. Still got the spiral, still got the quarterback flick. It's always part of your DNA.
Cal takes over. Sangapolatelli just has to get rid of it. He has been under siege here in the second half.
Stanford D-line has come to play. And remember, heading into this game, Andy Thompson, their defensive coordinator, did not have Wilfredo Ibar, one of their better edge rushers. So doing all this without him.
4 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. 5 quarterback hits, I should say, 8 TFLs. Graves makes the catch. Cal into Stanford territory. Pass incomplete. Again, trying to get it to Graves. There's a stare down. It's very serious business here.
We gotta stand there for a minute. The full commercial timeout.
Staring contest. It's a lot more fun to be hanging out with Andrew Luck right now. It's been a fun night for Sangapolatelli. No rest for the weary either. They'll celebrate Thanksgiving and then take on SMU up in Berkeley next weekend. That pass is almost intercepted. DeJesus actually did a pretty good job of knocking it away from Jay Green.
Jay Green, who has had an incredible game. He's been playing that nickel spot, basically the linebacker towards the field, and you got to be great in space, covering like we're seeing there. He's tackled well. He almost had the cherry on top for a heck of a day for him.
Giselle, that's what he does best. The tall wideout goes up and gets it. 23 yards. No quit yet in this Cal Bear team.
No quit JKS either. Heck of a throw. Trusting that your guy's going to do it or catch it. Pin it right behind the defender's helmet.
Giselle's got 97 yards receiving. Pretty nice when you got a 6'4 wideout that can go up and get it like him. Sangapolatelli steps up and steps into that one. Trying to hit his tight end, Landon Morris. And so it continues.
I think they're locking eyes, or they just staring into empty space. You got to size someone up.
Sangapolatelli trying to make sure everyone's lined up right. Rizal, he goes over 100 yards receiving.
Very rare in today's college football era. You have 2 receivers on this Cal team. 2 of their top 3, both former walk-ons. Sometimes you see that at the linebacker spot, offensive line spot every so often. Rare to see that receiver.
Pressure up the middle, sidearms, and his tight end, Landon Morris, just got nailed. That was a big-time collision.
Timeout for injured player for both teams.
It's a shame here in the final minute of this one that we have an injury.
And in real time, it looked like he pulled up to not get the targeting call.
Mitch Lieber has had a heck of a game from that safety spot. Man, Sangapoli-Telly felt the pressure and just flung that one perfectly to his tight end Morris, but Lieber really lowered the boom to dislodge it.
And in real time, it looked like he could have even, I know when you see the picture there, it looks like he's delivering a huge blow. But in real time, it looked like he pulled up a little bit. Obviously, there's a size advantage for Morris. Hopefully, both guys are okay.
Morris is up and walking off under his own power. He's a little upset at himself for not catching the ball. That was a big-time hit from Lieber. Packs a wallop at 6'1", 200 pounds, the fifth-year senior from Laguna Hills. There's Morris. Stanford staff continues to look at Lieber. And a reminder, the huddle crew will take it from us. Lots to talk about. That game's gone final in Atlanta. These two groups just want to exchange the axe and be done with it. Good to see Lieber is at least sitting up.
We'll be able to enjoy this one. Fifth-year senior. First win against your rival. Senior class has been through a lot at Stanford. Conference change. Think about when they came in here, how different the landscape is then compared to now. Passing the torch into the next era for whoever the head man is for Stanford moving forward.
So as Mitch Lieber walks off under his own power, Sangapoli-Telly prepares to try and convert a fourth down. Pressure on the edge. And Stanford's defense, as they've done all night long, keeping Jared Kiave, Sangapoli-Telly in check. And apropos, they finish this one up with a sack.
Seen pressures from the defensive line, seen pressures from the linebackers. This time it's Brandon Nicholson from his corner spot. The motor tracking him down from his backside. You said it, Chris. This Stanford defense came to play. Both halves. Offense woke up in the second half. Both halves. Randy Thompson's group.
All that's left is a knee. And in the 128th meeting of the big game, the Stanford Cardinal break a 4-game losing streak to their rivals from Berkeley. The coaches shake hands at midfield, and the Stanford Axe is heading back home here on the farm. The players want that axe. And the transfer is complete. How's that for drama? Nobody builds drama like an axe transfer like us.
Stanford gets it back, ends the streak, storms the field. What a moment for Frank Wright. His second last game as the head coach here before the next era starts, and what a data point for Andrew Luck, too, as he tries to rebuild this program to get a win versus your rival in a season in which Cal's a good football team in the way they did it. Great job.
Kendra is standing by with Andrew Luck.
Oh, well, Andrew, you get to enjoy this moment, break the win streak that Cal once had. How does it feel to see this team get the job done?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm really happy for these young men. They've worked their butts off, and they've deserved this. They've earned it.
The defense really carried this team throughout this game. What can you say about the performance they had tonight?
Are you kidding me? 2 scores. Jay Green, Double D, the D-line. Oh, the back end, man, woo, that was fun to watch them play. And what a team victory, man. A lot of resiliency from this group.
The Stanford Axe comes back home with you. How do you celebrate this one?
I don't know. I'm really happy. I'm happy for the school, for Frank Reich. I'm really happy for Frank Reich, and I'm happy for these young men. They've worked their butts off.
Andrew, congratulations to you and this team.
I appreciate it.
Guys.
Well, he bleeds Cardinal, that's for sure. Losing his voice like he was barking out audibles all night long. What do you make of it, my man?
Like you said, what a moment for this program as they look towards the future. Huge win versus your rival. Getting the Axe back.
For Kendra Douglas and Max Brown and our entire crew, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's send you to the studio.